Well, here we are again, Saints and friends. It's a great night. It's a great night here in Hollywood, California. And I want to say hello and welcome to everybody watching our broadcast. I'm saying like and share, like and share, like. We've got the man here tonight. The man. I know what I want to say, but I can't say because I got to stay in compliance with the rules and regulations of the election process. But when you have Bishop Dickerson Wells here tonight, you know what I want to say. That's it. That's all. It's a good thing. So I'm going to play this disclaimer, and I'll be right back. Hello, Brother Steve. I want to share this disclaimer with you up front. The views and opinions of my broadcast are not necessarily of Brother Steve Harris or the people I interview on this broadcast. This broadcast is independently produced by myself, Brother Steve Harris, and is not an official broadcast of the Church of God in Christ. I do not serve in any capacity in the Church of God in Christ for this particular broadcast and interviews of candidates at this particular time. I'm celebrating 40 years in the entertainment and broadcast industry, and we do our very best to continue to operate in integrity in all that we do and that we say. If you go to our website, you'll see these websites. There's a disclaimer on our website that shares with everyone that it is not an official website of the Church of God in Christ. I basically share information as a journalist to give people an opportunity to be heard, seen, and viewed. We hope that you enjoyed our broadcast. Hope that it's a blessing to you and it blesses others and all that we do and say. God bless you.
From Hollywood,
yo, DJ, are you done mixing yet?
Your DJ has only just begun.
Hello, I'm Bishop T.D. Jakes, and you're watching Brother Steve TV.
Hey, it's LaToya Luckett, and you're watching Brother Steve TV.
This is Rance Allen, and you're watching my friend, Brother Steve TV.
Hey, y'all, this is Leandra Johnson, and you're watching Brother Steve TV.
Hi, this is Rodney Darkchild Jerkins. This is Chris Tucker. This is Kirk Franklin.
And you are watching Brother Steve.
And you're watching Brother Steve TV. Stay tuned.
From Hollywood, California, you're watching Brother Steve TV.
It's a praise jam party, yep, it's going up. Brother Steve, the Sunshine Band, that's what's up. Him and his crew, they really making stations nervous. Brother Steve deliver hits like the Postal Service. Must I remind you of his credentials? Brother Steve go hard, he go large, he's monumental. That's it, it's over. A finality, call the pallbearers and stations buried in Cali.
360, going hard for the Lord. It's the praise jam party. Brother Steve is in charge. For all the hot exclusives and the brand new styles, tune in every week. Adjust your radio dial to the most unpredictable show on the airwaves. From the land of the stars to the home of the Braves. We go hard for the Lord. Yeah. That's how we rep the Christ. We don't apologize for it. We go hard.
Brother Steve here live on our broadcast from Hollywood, California. So glad to have each and every one of you here. I'm going to bring in Bishop Dickerson Wells to say hello, hi, greet you, and then we're going to play a video presentation. Bishop, how you doing tonight?
God bless you, my friend. We're certainly doing well and trust you're doing the same. And to the audience that has joined us this evening, peace and blessings to each of you.
We're so glad to see you. How is the weather in Memphis? It's cloudy here in Hollywood right now.
Well, believe it or not, it is kind of on the cool side here in Tennessee, Memphis. So about 53 degrees right now, but it'll warm back up toward the weekend.
53 degrees?
Right now it's 53 degrees. That's cold for us. We're about 15 degrees below normal.
Wow. Wow. Well, it's kind of cold, but it's nice and cozy in here. I know it's cozy and warm where you are, Bishop, and you got a lot of great things to say tonight, and we're going to jump into it. I want to ask you to like and share. Everybody like and share. Bishop, you are a candidate for the office of General Secretary for the Church of God in Christ, and we're going to play a video presentation on your platform. And then after you watch the video presentation, we're going to have a conversation. And then those of you doing the video presentation, you want to post your hellos, your highs to Bishop Wells, you can do that as well. All right, Bishop?
Let's do it.
All right. Here's the video presentation from the platform of Bishop Dickerson Wells.
Peace and blessings to you, the delegates of the General Assembly and constituents of the Church of God in Christ. I am Bishop Dickerson Wells of Memphis, Tennessee, your candidate for General Secretary. This November is your opportunity to vote for excellent customer service that the Church of God in Christ and its members deserves and expect from the office of General Secretary. This past May and June, I hosted a listening forum to hear your expectations of the office of General Secretary. I thought it necessary to hear from you because without your voice, I cannot build a platform that is inclusive of your needs and expectations. The listening forums brought to focus the following expectations. Number one, quality customer service, adequate staffing, and the need for training for jurisdictional secretaries and the constituents of the church on compliance and maintenance of records. I am pleased to announce that my platform is inclusive not only of my vision for the office, but your expectations of the office of General Secretary. Within the first 100 days of my election as your new General Secretary, you can expect the following 3 deliverables. Number one, review the current business systems and practices that currently manage the office of General Secretary and immediately make the appropriate recommendations and adjustments that will best serve the Church of God in Christ and its constituents. Number two, employ additional and professional personnel in the office of General Secretary here at World Headquarters to ensure that all areas of the office are operating at its maximum. And number three, I will organize the office of General Secretary by divisions and teams that reflects its operations with clear segregation of duties and constitutional mandates. And afterwards, I will communicate this division to you, the constituents of the church, so you will know who is responsible within the office for addressing your specific needs. Beyond the first 100 days in office, the challenge of the issuance of credential holder cards and credential certificates of appointments, ordination, and licensing must be addressed and resolved so that these documents can be received in a timely manner. Customer response time and support from the Office of General Secretary is an absolute must. As your General Secretary, I will employ the appropriate number of support representatives and personnel on site here at World Headquarters, along with remote personnel for after-hour weekend support. This new initiative will take into consideration the best options to serve you across all United States time zones and our international community as well. This customer service will include, but not be limited to, customized guidance for members of the episcopacy and jurisdictional supervisors for the Department of Women. The database management system used by the General Church, it should neither dictate nor govern the operations of the General Assembly, nor the office of General Secretary. Rather, it should reflect the workflows, the operations, and the constitutional responsibilities of both the General Secretary and the General Assembly. I will work to create a secure portal containing knowledge-based articles and frequently asked questions hosted by the General Secretary's office for jurisdictional secretaries to access. A clear delineation of tasks and duties for members of the General Secretary's office will also be created. We should know who to contact. We should know their function, and we should know their hours of availability. I will overhaul the current training manual for jurisdictional secretaries. The new training module will provide instructional themes within a large curriculum framework so that the jurisdictional secretaries will be of better service to jurisdictional bishops and the constituents at all jurisdictional levels. For example, proper correspondence from the office of the jurisdictional secretary, process for sharing notification of transitions and special events, licensure and ordination, credentialing, and financial assessments, just to name a few. The regions and their purpose and objectives will be reviewed and given a more clear definition of their duties and functionality. The Office of General Secretary must create and manage a library of records and archives, for there is no other entity within our church with the sole responsibility of managing and maintaining our church's history, annals, records, and overall chronicle of our denomination. I will provide both insight and oversight into the budget of the Office of General Secretary to ensure that there is transparency. I will provide a biannual reporting to the General Assembly of the actions of the Office of General Secretary. As members of the General Assembly, you need to know the progress, the goals, and the expectations of the Office of General Secretary. I will develop and provide for bishops and pastors a resource manual as to what constitutes a local church before it is recognized as a COGIC congregation in the respective jurisdictions and by the national church. New ministries should not have to feel their way, but rather they should be provided with the tools, resources, and knowledge of what is required by the federal and their respective state governments of what constitutes a local church. As Secretary of the General Assembly, I will also work with the Chairman of the General Assembly, the presiding bishop and general board to identify legislatively the growing number of virtual churches post-pandemic and how we define, identify, and classify them based on our current constitutional language. I will personally address and work to resolve the challenges surrounding the Office of General Secretary and how it interacts with those who live, serve, minister, and preside in countries outside of the United States. Our international family must be made to feel that their concerns and requests are just as important as anyone else's, and that they are valued as contributors to the growth of the ministry of the Church of God in Christ worldwide. I pledge to collaborate and work in concert with the International Department of Women to resolve challenges that currently exist between the Department of Women and the Office of General Secretary. In short, I have provided my vision along with your expectations for the Office of General Secretary. This will not be a solo job, but by God's grace, I will identify some of God's best in the Church of God in Christ to ensure that we provide you with the best customer service possible in a spirit of excellence and holiness. A vote for Bishop Dickerson Wells is a vote for you. Vote Dickerson Wells this November as your next General Secretary for the Church of God in Christ.
Whew. That was a lot, Bishop.
It was. Yes, sir.
You have a plan. And I'm going to jump right into it because we got a nice little time to talk. But I want to get right into it, Bishop. I'm going to ask you this question that I asked you before the last time that we came on. And you answer it. You did it last time, and I know you can do it again. Why are you inspired to run for the General Secretary's office?
Well, Brother Steve, I'm inspired to serve as the next General Secretary for the Church of God in Christ because, one, there are a number of challenges that that office is facing. It not only impacts it impacts the entire church.
Okay.
I currently serve as Adjutant General. And as Adjutant General, we primarily serve members of the episcopacy. But the office of General Secretary serves the Church of God in Christ at large.
Wow.
And there are a number of areas across the church that is demanding, that is expecting a different level of service, a different level of excellence that the church demands. As I stated in the video, I conducted a listening forum, and it was designed not for the people to hear me, but for me to hear the people. Now, these people included jurisdictional bishops. They included members of Pastors and Elders Council. They included women who serve in the Department of Women as jurisdictional supervisors, and they included jurisdictional secretaries. And that's a broad area. And so it was necessary that we include these voices in preparing the platform that you saw on this evening. So that's kind of a long answer.
Yeah, no. That's
why I'm inspired to run.
Bishop, you mentioned something in this video presentation about creating some type of informational system or booklet where new churches will know how to come into the Church of God in Christ. I've heard it for years. I want to be a Church of God in Christ now. I want to be coach now. I'm going to call Bishop so-and-so, tell him, hook me up and get me in. But it's not the proper process. It should be a process for a church to become a part of the denomination. You want to create pretty much the map that a church can come in to become a part of the Church of God in Christ.
Not just come in, but be identified as a church. Period. And there lies a big difference.
Okay.
Because we have persons who are inspired to pastor, and they say, well, I'm going to start in my living room. And they bring their wife and they bring their children. That's how our church grew.
Right.
And we go from the living room to storefronts and from storefronts to buildings, but we have not really become a church that is recognized by the federal and respective state governments. And therein lies a major problem. We have a church name. We're in a district. We are classified as in a jurisdiction.
Okay.
But we're really not recognized as a church. And so we want to make sure that all of our churches are in compliance.
Okay.
Not just with the constitution of our church, but in compliance with the federal and state governments where their churches reside.
Bishop, there are a couple of things you spoke about, and we're going to just be, straightforward. Well, we're not going to do too much comparison. But this is your time. You say however you want to say. In the first 100 days of your leadership, what are maybe one or two or three major things you want to really focus on? I know one is, you said something that I've never heard of before. Have a number where people can call on the weekends to get help.
And that stretches beyond the 100 days.
Wow.
But within the first 100 days, it is important that we, number one, review the current systems and practices that manage and govern the office of General Secretary, and then make the necessary adjustments and modifications so that the office is operating at its maximum. It's not my desire to tear down the foundation that is already there, but build upon the foundation that has already been laid and improve upon it so that we can best serve the members, the constituents of our church in a spirit of excellence and a spirit of holiness. Number two, it is important that we, because it's been stated that we do not have enough personnel.
Okay.
And it is important that we employ the appropriate number of personnel, professional personnel, additional personnel, so that we will be able to respond to an organization that is as large as the Church of God in Christ, not just in the United States, but also globally.
Yes.
And then finally, organize the Office of General Secretary by teams and divisions, so we will know who is responsible for overseeing what particular area of need that the members of the Church of God in Christ would have.
You said in our last interview, which kind of went viral, and if you want to leave a comment, you can. I'm opening the comment box right now. If you're watching and you want to say hello to Bishop, you can. And there's my dear mom. She always going to say hello to Bishop. My dear mom is watching out there tonight. Her and my father in Cleveland, Ohio. So if you want to say hello to Bishop, you're part of the jurisdiction, part of the church. Bethel, where you at? Pick up the phone. Your pastor's home. It's called Bethel. Come online tonight to listen to their pastor tonight. We talked about staff and proper training. How crucial is proper training for jurisdictional secretaries? Some of them, Bishop, are in their 70s and maybe beyond, and they got a landline, Bishop.
Well, again, we don't want to throw anyone away.
Okay.
But it is important that we place. There is a parable that my late district superintendent, Curly Hamilton, said to us. And he was an older man, but full of wisdom. Mm-hmm. And he said to us, pastors, young group of pastors, he said, when you're on a farm and you may notice that a fence is falling down, one of the beams or stakes in the fence have rotted and it is decaying. He said that the farmer never pulls up that stake, but he takes another fresh stake and puts it right down beside it, and it continues to support this barbed wire fence, because sometimes the barbed wire becomes entangled within the wood and it's hard to separate it. And so rather than taking the entire fence down, you just put another fresh stake right down beside it. So I'm going to be encouraging jurisdictional bishops because you don't want to throw people away who have given their time and their talent, their energy, their life to the church and their life to various areas of the church. But if we can put some fresh stakes right down beside them to support them, to undergird them until they learn the work, and then once those older stakes have served their purpose and are no longer visible, but if transition, you now have someone there that is available, that is ready, that is prepared to do the job. And so the current training manual for jurisdictional secretaries, it has not been revised since 2007, 2008.
2007 or 8?
Yes, and I'm not making this up. So it's a very old manual. It's a very old document. And so the new manual will have a new curriculum framework that will speak to various things that will empower and strengthen jurisdictional secretaries to be a better service to their jurisdictional bishops, to pastors, to jurisdictional supervisors for the Department of Women, to all the members of the jurisdiction at all levels. And so it is important not only that we provide this training, but that we hold jurisdictional secretaries accountable for their duties and responsibilities. Now, I can't take the blame and will not take the blame for jurisdictional secretaries not doing their job and performing at a level of expectation that not only the Office of General Secretary expects, but what the jurisdiction deserves. And so we will be informing bishops that your jurisdictional secretary is not in compliance in terms of providing us with the necessary information in a timely manner from the jurisdiction, that the jurisdictional secretary is not attending the annual training summits or the regional training summits as we prepare for various times of year throughout the church. And so it's important, for instance, to be able to be a participant in the quadrennial election in November, persons have to register through ARC by October the 21st. And so jurisdictional secretaries, they need to be about the business of looking at their master roster to see if everyone is registered. And now we can attend the General Assembly both in person and virtually. And if those persons are not registered, then it becomes the responsibility of the jurisdictional secretary to say, hey, we need you to go into ARC. Do you need any assistance with this? What do we need to do to help you be a part of the General Assembly of which our jurisdiction has elected you to attend and to participate in? And so this role of jurisdictional secretaries is crucial. It's important. It has always been important. It has always been vital to the life and structure of the jurisdiction and to the national church. And we're going to be holding them accountable.
In the last couple months, since the month of May, June, you've traveled this country. You've been in California so many times. You just here the other week. Some people calling me, Bishop Wells is here. I had to get my wallet, pull out my driver's license to make sure you weren't on that. You everywhere and traveling the country, Bishop. But one thing I wanted to ask you, in the last couple of months, what have you heard that the people want? I'm hearing about the blue and gold cards. I'm hearing about certification. I'm hearing about challenges. I won't discuss challenges. I want to give a fair playing field. But what do you want to say? What have you heard? What the people are looking for or their concerns that you want to share with your platform?
As I've traveled the country, and it's been extensive, not only in just campaign stops, but ministry.
Yes.
And I've had more ministry engagements and ministry assignments across the country than I have actually had campaign stops. But what I've heard is that the people are looking for excellent customer service.
Wow.
They're not getting the response that they need when they contact the Office of General Secretary by phone or by email. They're not getting their information, certificates of ordination, licensure, certificates of appointments, pastoral appointments. They're not receiving these in a timely manner. And jurisdictional bishops and jurisdictional secretaries are having to make their own certificates until
hold on. Time to take a sip. I had to take a drink on that one. You said it's been proven that jurisdictions have made up their own certificates?
I don't want to use the word made up. Let's use the word created.
Create.
They have had to create their own certificates because the national church, through the Office of General Secretary, has not provided them with the certificates that they have requested. And some jurisdictions, there's one particular jurisdiction, they had a licensing ceremony for new missionaries. But because the license had not come in, they had to postpone it and reschedule it. And can you think of the energy and the time and the excitement and the enthusiasm of becoming a licensed credential holder in the Church of God in Christ? Your local church is excited for you. Your family is excited for you. Your co-workers are excited for you. And then you have to postpone it because you don't have the credentials. And so those are some of the things that I have heard across the country in terms of what they are expecting. And the platform that I have shared just officially released today or yesterday.
It was yesterday.
It is inclusive of not only my vision, but it is inclusive of the expectations of the people that I have heard, that I have communicated with, that I have engaged myself in conversation with.
The last interview we did, Bishop, you said something that went viral. You are 15 minutes from the chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And because I am so close to Mason Temple, where the Office of General Secretary rests, there is no need for airfare. There is no need for car rental. There is no need for hotel expense. There is no need for a daily per diem. And because there is no need for those types of expenses related to the General Secretary having to travel to Memphis, then perhaps those funds can be allocated toward hiring someone perhaps part-time, or perhaps full-time. The budget will for sure need to be revisited and some line items adjusted so we can meet the needs and the expectations of the church and provide the church with the customer service that they are expecting and that the church deserves and demands.
You mentioned in your video you want to work on, and I'm not making this stuff up. I'm going off of your video presentation. As everybody know, I'm a pretty much neutral, journalist. but I'm gonna ask the hard questions. You spoke about maintaining the records. What's your platform on that?
Well, of course, the word secretary means keeper of secrets. And
that's the real answer.
There are certain documents that must be kept in compliance. There are records that must be maintained, not only hard copy, but electronically, so that we will be able to, at any given time, be able to reach back and pull what the record is. Resolutions, ensuring that because the Church of God in Christ is headquartered in Tennessee, that all of the records, according to the Secretary of State, all of those documents are in compliance with the state of Tennessee. That's not to say that they are not being done currently, but these are some of the things that the Office of General Secretary, in terms of record keeping, would need to maintain and ensure that they are kept in a spirit of where they will not be compromised.
You mentioned that you want to help increase staff. Now, I don't know how many are working there now. I don't get into that information, but that means if you increase the staff, that means there's going to be a request for increase in budget. That means it may cause you to, if you increase the staff, and some of the things you're saying are going to require funding and money, that means some fees. Are you saying that you may have to raise to do some things? Because people say, well, I'm going to add more people and we're going to get more computers. We're going to hit on that. But then that means in order to pay for those things, we may have to raise the budget to accommodate those things that you want to do with your vision.
Well, there will be a need to increase budget. I served as secretary for the National Board of Trustees for 12 years, served on the board for 16 years. And the trustee board is responsible for ascertaining the financial needs of various departments throughout the church. And it's important that the National Board of Trustees will understand that the increase that I am requesting is not just a number that I'm pulling out of the hat, pulling down out of the sky. This increase of budget is based upon what the church, not Dickerson Wells, but what the church is demanding and expecting from the Office of General Secretary. Now, there are other areas where we can do some things internally that can generate funding to do what we need to do. I'm kind of vague in what I'm saying by design.
I understand.
Because once I'm elected as a general secretary in November, then we'll be able to pull out all of those stops and really go into great detail and work in terms of making what we need to do happen.
You mentioned new computers. Is that the infrastructure of the internet system there at Mason Temple to?
Well, thanks to the leadership of our presiding bishop, he has updated the infrastructure of Mason Temple, and in terms of the technical support, and that we can now do some things from Mason Temple that we were not able to do prior to him being elected as the presiding bishop of the Church of God in Christ. So much thanks to his vision and to his leadership.
Bishop, you pretty much laid out your plan, and you're ready to execute your plan. Are there any other points that we may not have talked about that you want to discuss before I allow you again to speak to delegates directly?
First, allow me to thank you for this platform
Thank you, Bishop.
that you have provided not only to me, but to every candidate that have made themselves available and said to you, Brother Steve, I want to be a part of this program so they too could share their heart and their mind. I want to let the delegates know that I am passionate.
Let me do this first, Bishop. Let me give you the camera by yourself to speak to the delegates directly, and then you and I come back. How about that? I want to be fair to you. I want to do everything respectfully as I do for everybody else. So I'm going to give you the camera by yourself, and you can talk to the delegates directly. You can talk as long as you like. Okay? All right, Bishop.
God bless the delegates of the Church of God in Christ and constituents of the church. Again, I want to thank you for your prayers and for your support. I am a fifth generation member of the Church of God in Christ, and I've been in the church all of my life. And you have demonstrated your vote of confidence in my ability to serve the church because in 1997, you elected me to 4 consecutive 4-year terms, totaling 16 years as a member of the National Board of Trustees. And for 12 of those years, I was elected by my peers to serve as secretary. And so once again, I'm offering myself to serve you. I believe that I am a candidate with proven results. I believe that I am a candidate that will provide not only the ability, but the availability and the accessibility. And I am the only candidate that has laid out a platform that is inclusive, not only of my vision, but it is inclusive of the expectations of the people that we are called upon to serve. I'm the only candidate that has taken the time to listen, to hear, and to incorporate your thoughts, your heart, your voice into the platform that will come to fruition in November once I'm elected as General Secretary. I'm not only asking for your prayers and for your support, but I'm asking also for your vote. I want to invite you to come by my booth in the November convocation. It will be in the Renaissance Center across from the Church of God in Christ bookstore. You won't be able to miss us. And there will be a number of things that will be available to you through the Dickerson Wells and Living Word Ministry booth. And I trust that you will come by and see what we have available for you, and also provide the information for you that will give you more information about the service that I have provided, not only in the community and city of Memphis, but also throughout the Church of God in Christ in my ecclesiastical career. The Lord bless you in heaven and smile upon you is my prayer.
Woo. This one was great, Bishop. It was a little intense because this is the countdown interviews, and this is where you cross the country. And you've heard what the people want.
And if I can also say I have done 3 videos, and these videos were I went to Detroit and recorded these videos. Back in August, I believe, middle of August. And I have taken the time to strategically develop them, put the necessary photographs with them, and bring them out stage by stage. And the one that you play tonight is the last of the 3, because it spells out for everyone the platform, what I plan to do, and how I plan to do it. It's not enough just to know my skill. It's not enough just to know areas where I have served, but the people want to know, what am I going to do? And how do I plan to do it? And this last video is the last one that is out. And I want to ask all of those who are listening tonight to take that video, share it on your social media platform, share it with persons in your contact, those individuals who are kind of on the fence, not really knowing what
there
they
you
do. Let them hear the message. Let them hear the message, and let them, and you say to them, this is the man. This is the church's wisest choice for general secretary for the Church of God in Christ.
I think you spelled it out. First of all, you spelled out what the word secretary means: keeper of secrets. So that means documents have to be secured under your leadership.
Absolutely.
Keeper of secrets. Bishop, I think you nailed it tonight. You said a lot of great things. Is there anything else before we have you introduce or give a shout out to your family, your church, your jurisdiction? Anything else you want to cover tonight on this broadcast, Bishop? We had to. What's your favorite food to cook, Bishop?
Oh man, guess what I cooked tonight and had for dinner?
Wait, hold on. You already cooked it and had it for dinner?
Yeah.
What is it?
See, I cook in bulk.
No.
And then I put it up in freezer bags. So when I don't have time to cook, I just take it out of the freezer and prepare it. So I had oxtails tonight. I had black-eyed peas tonight. I had baked sweet potato tonight. And so, hey.
Hold on.
I enjoy
cooked black-eyed peas.
Yeah.
All right, Bishop. Let me see how good of a cook you are. Let me ask you, do you think you can outcook me in candy yams and greens? Can you think you can outcook me in candy yams?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, because I'm from the South and you're from California.
Woo! I almost said you may want to pull up a grill down at Mason Temple. Pull up a grill, pull up a pot. What do you put in black-eyed peas to take the extra fuel out of it? Now, I'm using another word. I'm replacing the word, but if you put the two together, fuel, it means what you put in the car. So what do you put in the black-eyed peas? I'm going to see if you are a real black-eyed pea cooker to take some of the poof out of the black-eyed peas.
Yeah, what we do is I prepare and cook my peas in smoked turkey. And I know some people put vinegar and all that kind of stuff in it.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to do all that. When I prepare my food, you won't have the fuel. You will have the nourishment.
And you cooked it, and you said oxtails too?
Oh man, yeah.
You keep them greasy?
No, I don't cook greasy food. You cut some of the layers of the fat of the oxtail off and keep just enough on to keep the meat intact. You're not ready for this gospel. You're not ready for this gospel.
No. What side do you cut off though?
Mm-hmm. You cut off the fatty side, the excess fat, and you don't have all that grease.
And you cook it in a pot or a crock pot.
Yeah, I cook it in a crock pot, or I can boil it in a regular pot.
How long?
Depends on how big the meat is. So it varies, but I like to cook it until it's tender.
I think you won. I think you won that round.
Yeah.
Now, by me being a secretary of the kitchen.
Do you prepare preserves like canned peaches and pear preserves and all that kind of stuff?
let me give you this disclaimer before I go off the air. I can cook any dish in the world. I can cook any dish in the world for any culture and any nationality.
Well, you are better cook than me. You are better.
But there's another disclaimer too. I gotta have somebody from that culture, nationality standing right next to me in the kitchen as a cook that. No, I do not cook preserves, Bishop. You do preserves?
I do them, man. I do them.
Preserves?
Preserves, and they're delicious. I'm from the South.
J. Hall just said barbecue sauce take meat.
I'm from the South.
Man, preserves.
Yes.
And you can put it in the mason jar, not Mason Temple jar.
In the mason jar, absolutely. Yeah.
Bishop, I think we may have to meet you down at the Cook. I forgot anything about no Renaissance Cook Convention Center and have a cook-off with you. Bishop, you're the best. Let's give a shout out to your family and your church out there watching, and then we're gonna let you know we're gonna play this again so people may see this again and understand. Indiana First Jurisdiction. Thank you, sir, very much. Louis J. Hall out there watching, and the people out there watching. Because we have another interview coming up right after this, so y'all can stay online and stay with us tonight. And I'm gonna ask him what he cooking because I got another Miffy. What do you call it? Memphian? What y'all call yourselves? Memphian on tonight. And now I know what he. I know what he cooking. I don't know if he cooking that. I'm gonna ask him what he cooking.
Okay.
Oxtails, black eyed peas, and not candy yams, but yams.
Yeah, well, I had a baked sweet potato tonight.
And you cooked it yourself?
Yeah.
Well, then the wife didn't have to cook.
No, she didn't have to cook.
Okay.
And on that note, I want to thank my wife.
Yeah.
My amazing wife for her support, and my children for their support, and for my congregation, the Bethel Church of God in Christ and the King of Glory Church of God in Christ.
Wow.
I want to thank them for their support, for their prayers, for their patience, and their allowing me to travel as much as I have across the country and literally around the world. I've gone to 3 countries this year. And I want to thank them, and I appreciate them so very, very, very much.
You're the best, Bishop. Vote November 2024, Bishop Dickerson Wells, candidate for General Secretary for the Church of God in Christ. I'm Brother Steve from Hollywood, California. You can re-watch this video, review it, share it again, and go to our website, kojicelections.com, which I operate independently. And Bishop, stay on the line. We'll be right back with you. Until then, everyone have a great rest of the night. God bless you.
We go hard. That's how we rep the price we don't apologize for. And I'm with a producer. We can take your record.